is called a Winn-Dixie. This is a leg cradle that Juab just pins will not be doing. Anyway, that's a nice deal for whoever's pins that was. The approach I take is
I figured it out. Okay, now I'm confident we have sound. My sound technician in Nephi named Mackenzie is going to send me a text here in a second if the sound is coming through. Okay, thank you, everybody. Whenever anything's wrong, there's enough people that are watching that I get texts when things are not going well. So thank you, Mackenzie. All right, so I apologize, folks. We just got some audio, and Juab just, I'm just going to apologize ahead of time. Remember, I'm brand new from Wyoming to Nephi. And I come from a town very similar to Nephi in that we love wrestling in that part of Wyoming, and we love wrestling in this part of Utah. So I don't know everybody's name, and I apologize for that. But I love to watch great wrestling. And so I'm going to do my best to just chat about wrestling. I just treat this like we're all in my man cave and we're all talking about wrestling, and I'm explaining things because I love it so much. I want everybody else to love it, and to understand wrestling is to love it. So I just pretend like I've got some friends that aren't as familiar with wrestling, and we're going to talk about it. Okay, so a quick kind of a slide by Juab. And it slipped, and he went down and gave up a takedown, but not to worry. And I think that's Rowdy. There's only a few Juab named boys that I know their name, and I'm pretty sure that's Rowdy. Wrestling a kid from Mountain View. So this is by the way, the Millard Ironman is a dual tournament. So it's not an individual tournament where you score team points. It's a dual tournament where you score dual points, but your team advances, and anyway, I'm sure they've got figured out with pools and so forth, but this is one of the most fan-friendly ways to watch wrestling, because if you're here to watch Rowdy, for example, you're going to watch Rowdy almost every 90 minutes instead of a normal tournament where hours go by and you can't and you have to wait to watch your wrestler. I think this is Garrett Perry, thanks to Travis. Okay, end of the first period. And Garrett Perry, who is ahead 6-2, chooses down. Looked like Mountain View won the toss, but deferred, and so Garrett's choosing down. They're the rest minute and 30-second round, so if they seem short, they are. Garrett's posting with that outside leg, and see that outside elbow. He's got it tucked into, or did have it tucked into his hip crease, and that's very intentional, because you want to force your opponent to reach over the top of your hands or your arms, because that gives you all kinds of options. Garrett's about to get his leg out, and he's hipping in, and he's got a leg captured of Mountain View, and he's just trying to hip in and get that guy out of position so he can steal a reversal. Mountain View's hanging on like crazy. And it's a scramble right now. Mountain View showed some real poise there to not panic and bail out. He was in a tough spot, and Garrett was doing a good job of pressuring into him, hipping into him to get him out of position, but Mountain View showed some discipline there and just hung on and maintained the position and maintained legs in, and now he's working on another combination on Garrett Perry. And Garrett's doing a good job of maintaining his base, keeping his hips strong and underneath him. Now trying to do a reach back and grab a hip, and time runs out. Garrett still ahead, 6-2 as we head in now to the third period. Mountain View chooses down. Hey, we've only got eight viewers right now. We weren't planning on broadcasting today. So I'm going to, against some of my better judgment, I'm going to give you my cell phone number. And if you know names, please text them to me. Cell phone number 801-599-6335. 801-599-6335. Text me names if you have them. All right, Mountain View, Garrett looked like he tried to stick a leg in, and Mountain View caught it and got underneath it and is hanging on to it, but Garrett's doing a good job. He just hung in there and got his leg in. He's not in as far as he wants to, and he popped his leg out. So now he's Mountain View's tried a little bit of a Granby roll there and wasn't going anywhere. Garrett was ready for it. Few seconds left, 5 seconds left in the match. And Garrett did a great job of riding this guy. And those are tough, both tough wrestlers. Sometimes a good hard ride is not as appreciated in high school as it is in college. But to ride a guy out is an act of domination in college, and not as appreciated in high school because you don't get any points for it. But Garrett would have got some riding time out of that baby and given him one more point. But as it was, it was a minor decision, so he scores 3 team points. All right, Preston Agard up next for Juab. And I don't know Preston personally, but I've heard that he's just a real physical wrestler, and he just did a nice little underhook, dropped down on a leg, picked it up, tree-topped it, and scooped, and got a nice, easy 2-point takedown. Now he's going to dump. Looks like he's wrestling a guy from Mountain View that's not nearly as experienced, and so you got to give a shout out to any wrestler, especially if they're new to the sport, that's willing to get out there on the mat, especially in a varsity setting, and just give it a go. And just one of the things I love about wrestling is just it's a bravery on display, even if you know you're going to take one for the team. All right, Agard with a claw ride for a little while there, claw and a spiral. He's got a wrist on the inside, and he's just pressuring in. Notice how he's up on his toes like that. That's just amazing pressure on his opponent. But that's just a great top wrestler. He just always, whenever possible, off knees and on toes. Switches sides, for a half, switches back. Got wrist control underneath there. All right, Preston on bottom, starting the new round. He's ahead 2-0. Again, just 90-second round, so it's whipping by pretty quick. Preston up and out, and without much sweat on his brow over that one. Did a little high crotch single leg, finished with a double, dumped, and it's peeling his face off right now. See how he's got that leg elevated right there? That's called a Turk, and he's peeling his face off, and I mean peeling it off, putting a little forearm in there just for added measure. But he got all of his back points there. The official awards him, and he's going to get some more. He kept the Turk in and was hoping, a lot of times to get a new set of back points, you got to let go of everything you've got. But he didn't. He kept that Turk in, but he kept looking at the official, saying, hey, score that. But he keeps the leg in, and it just keeps tipping him over, getting more back points. And I bet Preston goes for a pin right now because he's ahead 11-0. And rather than get a technical pin, which is 15 points, instead get a pin, and that's 16 points. Now, with Juab, that rarely does it matter if it's a major or minor decision because they're just so used to winning. They're like a freight train. But it's just good practice to get in the mode of being aware of the team points that you're scoring and going. If you watch some of the elite college teams right now, that's what they pride themselves of. They pride themselves on scoring bonus points, and that means more than just a minor decision. So the coach from Mountain View was out talking to the ref, and it does make sense. He needed to talk to the ref and say, hey, he's got to let go of that Turk before you can start awarding more back points. But all right, next wrestler up for Juab is Ben Holthaus. Thanks, Travis. Ben, quick head inside single, and he scooped up the other leg and got awarded the points. He's trying to keep that inside leg and do a Turk as well. See how he's lifting up that inside leg with his leg? That's called a Turk. And he's got, and it looks like Mountain View's going to squirt out of that. Thank goodness. Score is 2-0 with 50 seconds left in this first period. Ben's got a leg in, and he's trying to kind of cross face. There's some amazing pressure going on right there. When legs are in like that, it's just, and look at that. He's got what's called a power half, and he's just cranking on Mountain View's neck. He's got a leg in now. Now he's just kind of straddled him. Mountain View's trying to roll through, but Ben, great position awareness. He slipped out to the side. Got 2 back points. I thought he had plenty of swipes there to give the full suite of 3 back points, but no big deal. Bruins win the toss and they defer. And so Ben Holthaus chooses down. All right, Ben. Benedict does a good job of that. Mountain View kind of left an arm dangling there, and Benedict hooked that thing and just whipped it down and kind of did a little hip roll there. And a little bit of a scramble, and then came up on top. And Mountain View thinks they're getting a reversal there, but watch it, see if Ben fights through this. Mountain View's got that inside leg. He's got his arms underneath the leg. If he had it over the top, not as strong, but underneath, makes Ben fight for this position, and Ben's fighting for it. He's posting out with his right arm, and he got his hips back in control, and he's back in control of the situation. .30 seconds left in this period. Ben's got a leg in, hooked an arm, and now he's got it. Oh, and Provo or Mountain View kind of came out of that and caught Ben off guard and got a reversal and some back points. And Ben says, I'm going to give it right back to you. Ben does a little hip roll thing there and comes out on top and gets the pin. Got a little bit scrambly there that just made it exciting. So thanks, Ben. Oh, Mountain View's confident in that in the neutral position with takedowns. Porter Wolfworth from Juab just got taken down, then let up. And I'll just tell you, there's a little psychological stuff going on there. When you get taken down and the guy instantly lets you up, he's basically in all caps screaming at you, "I'm going to take you down again." And you got to be pretty darn tough in the head to have that just not affect you at all. But he took Porter down pretty quick, and he thinks he can do it again because he let him right up. So let's just see if Porter responds. Fireman's carry from Mountain View and put Porter right on his back, feet to back. So he scored two takedown there, and now he's collecting all of his back points. So he's going to get all three. So that was a 5-point move. And let's see if Mountain View decides to finish that on Porter. Porter's giving it, he's gutting it out there, but gave up a pin. But me not knowing that pro or the Orem Mountain View wrestler, it looks like he's spent lots of time on a wrestling mat. All right, so that was they're not displaying the team score anywhere in the gym. So, and I'm not keeping track of it, but Juab's up ahead, but Mountain View just tacked on 2 team points. Up next is Staten Shepherd. For Juab. And they're just forehead to forehead, kind of hand fighting down low, wrist trying, and then Mountain View hits him with a collar tie and an inside tie. Underhook by Staten. Underhook on the right side, got a collar tie on the left. Kind of jacking him up a little bit. They break free and go forehead to forehead again. Now he's digging another underhook. Mountain View's doing a pretty good job of collar tie and using that collar tie intentionally and snapping down and pulling down on Staten's neck. All right, Staten's got back points. His opponent's out of bounds, and there was a time when you can't score back points, but if your feet are in bounds, inside of that white circle, you can keep scoring points, and he did. He got 2 back points out of that, so the score is 4-0 in favor of Staten from Juab. All right, Statton's quad potted up and then shoots his hips out. Fighting hands, and gets a hard-fought escape. A lot of times the other wrestler just give up that escape, but Statton had to fight for that one and got it. So he's had 5-0 right now with 1 minute and 9 seconds left in this period. Again, Mountain View guys doing a good job of collar tying and putting some heat on it and some weight on it to try to slow down Statton, but Statton's doing a good job. Good job of keeping his position. He's not the tighter a wrestler gets, you can see they'll start to stand up straight without and not be in their athletic stance. But Statton's doing a good job of staying, hips down and knees bent. He's got an overhook and an underhook, and let's see what Statton wants to do with that. He lets him go. Mountain View's taking some shots, but they're kind of half shots, and I think if he just commit to one, he'd probably do a little bit better. But it's hard for these big guys to shoot shots where you go underneath the body, because if you don't do a good job. And a nice lateral drop by Statton. He puts Mountain View right on his back. He's got to switch to a reverse half, and he does. He gets chest to chest. And there's just short time, and he got the pin with time running out. All right, up next at heavyweight. Ty Blackburn, forehead to forehead right now. They're just kind of fighting for inside control. Got a collar tie. He's peeling off a collar tie. And this Mountain View guy's a big dude. Ty's got an underhook on the left side, collar tie on the right side, and he just snapped. He kind of stepped back and snapped down, and that seems inconsequential right now, but it's not. And then he gives a quick over front headlock and spins behind to collect his 2 points. So great job by Ty spinning behind, and then he lets him go. Shows some confidence, just lets him go and pushes him off. All right, let's see if Ty can get a takedown real quick. He's got an underhook, now an over front headlock, and he's going to spin behind again. And that, my friends, it just pushes. He's getting inside of the Mountain View Bruins' head. And if you get taken down twice in a row real quick like that, you're in their head. So Ty got a collar tie again. Collar tie on the left. He's blocking with his right. He's got it's over, but he's kind of blocking in his throat, if you can see that. All right, so the score 4-2. 2 takedowns, and he let him escape twice, so that gives Mountain View his 2 points. Ty Blackburn chooses down. Mountain View Bruin mounts up, and away they go. Ty turns in, steps up, fighting hands, and gets out. Does a quick hip heist and faces him, and he's out easy. So 5-2 with 1 minute and 19 left in this match. Ty's he was looking for an inside trip there. He's got an underhook and a collar tie, and then Mountain View tries kind of a half attempt at a headlock. And Ty's having nothing with that. Ty's blocking. See how he's blocking, pushing in to his shoulder there, and then you'll see him push his hand into his throat to kind of keep some distance between him and this guy. See how Ty's left arm is straight there. His hand is digging into his throat, and that gets irritating like crazy. If you're wrestling, it's already hard to breathe. All right, Ty with a nice underhook, spins behind, whips him down for a 2-point takedown, 7-2 with 39 seconds left in this match. And Ty's looking for a power half right now. Slaps him with a mean crossface, and he's got his guy on his back, and if it's not A pin. So Ty Blackburn wraps this thing up with a stout pin. Now, in these dual tournaments, when it's just dual meet after dual meet, they don't just start always with the little guy, the 103-pounder, or 106. I forget what it is in Utah. But they don't just always start with him. So they'll move up a weight as the starting weight. Every duel, they'll move up. Usually they move up one more weight. So even though that was the heavyweight wrestler, that's not the end of the duel. We're going back down to the little guys. And I mean little but vicious. Slick takedown by the Mountain View Bruin against Mr. Crew Cohen. He's got a cradle, and Crew's in a bad spot right now. And Mountain View's got his knee dug into his ribs of Crew, the ribs of Crew. You can see that. They go out of bounds, and the official's not giving any back points there, and the Mountain View coach is like, I don't agree with that, and neither do I, but every ref kind of has his own little domain inside the ring there. Crew's hip heisting out, trying to turn in, trying to peel hands. Provo or Mountain View's got a half on one side, then he whips to a half on the other side, and Crew's doing his best to kind of wing that down and turn his head away to get that half off. Crew hips out, and Mountain View's working on an arm bar, but Crew's doing a good job of straightening his arm out, but Mountain View's fighting it anyway. Good job by Crew fighting off an arm bar that looked inevitable, but it wasn't. Mountain View's looking at the far side cradle right now, and he's got it locked up. He jumps over to that side so he can sit back to his hips. And Crew fought that off. All right, so Crew Cowan's on top. And the official said you didn't start the right way. He wants a hand on the belly button and a hand on the elbow. And Mountain View quad pods up, and now he's fighting hands. He's up on his feet. Crew Cowan, had to let him go. So Crew's doing a good job of staying in a good stance. Collar tie with his left. Mountain View was looking for a headlock. Now he goes to an head inside single and sweeps out to the side and collects 2 points. Looking for an arm bar again on the left side, and Crew Cowan's doing a great job of straightening his arm out to defend that arm bar. And man, Mr. Mountain View loves cradles because he's got another far side cradle, but he's slipped over to that side so he can just hip over. Taking Crew straight back. There comes the back points. Crew's fighting like crazy to keep that inside shoulder off the mat. And Mountain View's digging his ribs with his knee. And there's a pin by Mountain View. So Crew Cowan had a tiger out there that loved cradles. And Crew tosses his headgear to his teammate. One of the grossest things I ever saw was 2 teammates swapping mouthpieces. That was my son and his buddy. Okay, nice head snap to a front three-quarter Nelson by Juab. Spins behind, collects his 2 points, and he's looking for a near side cradle, kind of scooping that up. Mr. Blackett's in control right now, and he's hipping back and just taking the Bruin straight to his back. He got 2 back points before the Bruin kicked out of it. And Blackett scoops up that inside leg and then steps through to hook up the Turk. And the Bruins doing a good job of trying to stay off of his back, but Blackett's giving him all kinds of heat with that Turk. Now Blackett's just digging in for a cradle, and he's got it locked up and started getting back points. And Jiggy Blackett gave the Bruin everything he could handle. Great job, Jiggy. Up next, we're cruising through these. Pins, it seems like. All right. Oh, slick move, and then right back in. He went for kind of a misdirection single leg, Drake Johnson, and then got a little out of position, and the Bruin capitalized on it and took Drake down. So Drake's behind 2-0 right now, but he's moving well, moving really well. They head out of bounds, go back to the center. Let's see what Jake does off the whistle when he's on bottom. See that elbow go in? See his inside elbow go in right to his hip crease, and that makes it a little bit easier to get up and out of there because you're underneath the arm instead of trying to fight hands over the top. But Mountain View does a good job of scooping up that leg and kind of tree-topping it a little bit and inside tripping Drake right back down to the mat. And he's on Drake's legs. He's got to climb up before he gets dinged for stalling, but he's up and now working on. And notice the Bruin. He's doing a good job of staying on his toes and digging and pressuring into Drake all of the time, except right now. All right, up on their feet. Score right now is still 2-0. Let's see if Drake can get this thing tied back up and then start. He's got a front headlock. Bruin shot in, and Drake did a fantastic job at blocking, and then just arm shucked him by and spun around behind to get the 2-point takedown. So this is tied up now. Scoreboard doesn't. Yeah, now the scoreboard says it. Minute left in this period. Drake's behind. Bruin's trying to get up and out of there, fighting hands, and Drake lets him go. Kind of a normal thing. If you hang out behind there for more than 5 seconds, you're going to get dinged for stalling anyway. So if you know that's coming. Oh, and then an ill-advised headlock attempt by the Bruin, and then he comes back and does it again and catches Drake and puts Drake right on his back. He's got all of his back points. He's got 2 takedowns, so that's 5 points, and that is if Drake can get out of there, but Drake gave up a pin, and that was a pretty tight headlock by the Mountain View Bruin. Okay, I think that concludes the duel. They're shaking hands. I apologize for my vantage. I cannot see a team score anywhere, but Juab won that one. I just don't know how the actual score. All right, so next duel is supposed to start at 7. So we're 10 minutes away. I'm going to close this stream because ideally it should post somewhere so that we can keep all these duels separately. So if you go back and want to watch these, you don't have to scroll through a whole day of wrestling. You can pick the duel that you want to look at and then scroll through and find the match that you want. So we're going to wrap this up, but before we do, a huge shout out to some friends in Wyoming, the company that helped us do this in Wyoming with Star Valley High School, SVI Media. They are hosting this through their technology and just made it easy for us. And they're the ones that have helped me figure out the equipment that we've got to get and how to set it up and how to run it and all of that. So we just want to thank them. But also we want to thank all of the folks that have just – we had a banquet, a wrestling banquet a week or so ago that was well attended, and there's just so many people and companies inside of the town of Nephi that are huge supporters of the wrestling program. And as all of you know that are wrestling fans, you know it's not just the season that you have to worry about. If you're going to have an elite program like Juab has, they're wrestling year-round in one way or another. They've got open mats all the time, and these guys are really working hard all year. So it takes a lot of work and a lot of money to get those guys to tournaments during the off-season and just have all of the opportunity they have to grow and improve as a wrestler. So thanks to everybody. We're going to wrap up this duel. Again, my name's Jason Hoops. We'll see you back here in about, unless they're running late, we'll see you back here in 10